It's one of the closest ever All-Star games. We look at the highlights. A new class of the ECHL's Hall of Fame is inducted. Plus, we talk with a couple of coaches who've taken over teams in the last few months. Although it's a mid-season break for the players, we're not resting. It's time for ECHL Week.
It's the 2017 ECHL All-Star Classic. Hi, welcome to another edition of ECHL Week, coming to you from the Glens Falls Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York, home of the Adirondack Thunder and home to the ECHL's Mid-Season Classic. In today's special All-Star edition of the show, we'll take a look at the All-Star Game, plus the 10th Anniversary Hall of Fame induction ceremony of the ECHL. The two-day All-Star Classic event kicked off with a Fan Fest, which featured mascots from around the league, appearances by all of the ECHL All-Stars and the host Adirondack Thunder players, participatory games for the young and young at heart, numerous displays from the Hockey Hall of Fame, and of course, both the Kelly Cup and the Stanley Cup. The midpoint of the season festivities were capped off by the All-Star Game itself. Led by Ric Kowalski of the Colorado Eagles, the All-Stars defeated Adirondack 8-7. Kowalski scored twice and added 2 assists to earn the nod as the game's most valuable player. Indy's Alex Weidman opened the scoring with 17:41 left in the first half, converting on a pass from Kowalski, who extended the lead to 2-0 when he beat Adirondack goaltender Drew Fielding. The All-Stars took a 3-0 lead with 1:27 left in the first half when Brampton's David Valerani took a cross-crease pass from Atlanta's Justin Buzzio. Adirondack got on the board about a minute later when Nick Bly beat Tulsa's Jamie Phillips with a wrist shot, but the All-Stars restored their 3-goal lead 9 seconds after that when Weidman got behind the defense and scored against Fielding. The Thunder gained a point on the scoreboard by winning the team puck relay event and closed to within 4-3 with a win by Stefan Palkowski in the hardest shot competition. The All-Stars earned a point in the fastest skater battle as South Carolina's Stephen McParland posted the fastest time. When traditional play resumed in the second half, Valerani scored his second goal of the game to extend the All-Stars lead to 6-3. However, 2 quick strikes from Brian Ward and James Henry of Adirondack made it a 1-goal game. With 13:48 left in the second half, Kowalski notched his second goal of the night to give the All-Stars a 7-5 lead, but Brett Pollock answered for Adirondack 47 seconds later to close the gap again. Fort Wayne's Sean Sedlowski's breakaway goal with 2:55 remaining put the All-Stars up 8-6 before the Thunder's Dana Fraser closed out the scoring. After the game, a number of the participants talked about the experience.
It ramped up a bit at the end, and I don't think there's really anyone surprised that it was that close. I mean, they have a good team over there, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of guys enjoyed it.
It's one of those things, you have a hometown crowd, obviously you're going to fill the building because they're here to watch their own players and here to watch the best of the ECHL, and they don't want to lose, and they definitely made it hard for the All-Star team and hard on our guys.
It was legit, it was competitive, guys wanted to win, you're not putting people through the boards, but it was real hockey, so I think that made it easier for us to play, and it made it fun for the fans to see some actual talent come out, some nice goals, some good plays.
The members of the ECHL's Hall of Fame class of 2017 are front and center, next on ECHL Week.
From coast to coast and north of the border, it's time for a new season, and that means it's time for NHL Tonight.
His shot scores! Crawford came out, took a swing at Fabry. That is elation.
Covering all 30 teams every game night.
We are going to dial it in, talk to some hockey.
NHL Tonight is truly the ultimate hockey hub.
This is massive.
NHL Tonight, every game night on NHL Network.
Hi, I'm Michael Young of the Rapid City Rush, and you're watching ECHL Week.
One of the highlights of All-Star Week was the induction of 3 new members in the 10th class of the ECHL's Hall of Fame. Lake George, New York was the setting for the induction ceremony of the ECHL Hall of Fame class of 2017. Members of the 10th class of ECHL Hall of Famers spoke to the audience inside a packed banquet room. First to address those in attendance was Brad Phillips, one of only 3 officials to work 1,000 games in the league and the first linesman to be enshrined.
Dedication I had to the league and just how committed I was to jump in and do what I needed to do to be able to skate 1,000 games and all the sacrifices that myself made and my wife made, and it's just you think back on all those things that we did for the love of the sport, and we just did it.
T. Paul Hendrick has been the ECHL's general counsel since 1994. He represented several ECHL teams prior to working with the league.
Pat Kelly and Rick Adams and Brian McKenna have just done an extraordinary job of leadership, and my job is to work with them by their side and provide help and counseling when I can, but they are the prime movers, and Mr. Kelly is really a mentor for all of us, both to his life in hockey and his life, period. So it's been the ultimate of my career, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm very humbled by the honor that's happened here today.
Ric Kowalski played in the ECHL for 10 years. He appeared in 2 All-Star games and was captain of the 2005 Kelly Cup champion Trenton Titans. He coached in the ECHL for 4 seasons prior to his current position as head coach of the AHL's Albany Devils.
Later on in my career, like I said, I was an older player in the league. I liked the security of the league. I liked the way it was run. And for me, it provided a place to keep playing, and really I continued to excel, which is probably what I'm most proud of, and capped it off with the championship. And no question, kind of rolled right into my coaching career from there. So I'm very grateful for everything that it's provided for me, and this certainly is a huge honor. I think no one's intention is to, you don't start out your pro career saying I'm going to play 500 plus games in the ECHL, but I wouldn't trade it for a minute. It shaped me as a person. I met a lot of great people, played with a lot of great players, and for a lot of great coaches, and enjoyed my experience. And like I said earlier, again, I was passionate about the game, and it gave me an opportunity to play pro hockey, and make some money while I was doing it, and continue to doing what I love.
We hear from the South Division announcer on our Voices of the ECHL feature, plus the location of next season's All-Star Game, when ECHL Week continues.
What's the difference between a breakaway and getting caught? Between an odd man rush and being the odd man out? Gaining an extra second. Be ahead of the game.
Hi, I'm Spiro Galakis of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and you're watching ECHL Week.
In ECHL news, the All-Star Game in 2018 is going to be hosted by the Indy Fuel.
Indianapolis is one of those large cities bordering on the north that was missing professional hockey. Lots of people said that the team wouldn't succeed there, that there was just too many sports in towns, there was too much going on, too much competition. And you know what? We've proven that to be absolutely false. And I think bringing the ECHL All-Star Game is just not about saying, hey, you know what? Not only is the Fuel successful, but this is a hockey community. I'm very confident we can sell it out that night, and just further evidence that, you know what, hockey's here to stay. Hockey's in Indianapolis to stay.
In Quad City, Elmira, Norfolk, and Orlando, there have been head coaching changes in the first half of this ECHL season, the most in recent memory. We spoke with a couple of the men who have taken over behind the benches to find out about their thoughts and expectations.
Coming in here to be able to work with young men that want to improve and keep wanting to get better, it's pretty amazing, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Obviously, you don't want to come in and start changing everything too much. It's a little overwhelming for people. I know that as a player, but just little things at a time. Obviously starts with practice habits, and just moving on from there, getting it transitioning into games, and just trying to get an honest effort out of everyone each and every shift.
I always had a good time here. I love the management group here, and for me to be able to be the GM and head coach was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
But I built pretty good relationships with these guys from the start of the season to now, so they know that I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy, and all I'm looking for is effort.
Hi, I'm CJ Mott of the Quad City Mallards, and you're watching ECHL Week.
The men behind the microphones. It's time for Voices of the ECHL.
I don't do any vocal exercises before I go on air. I'm kind of a goofball, so maybe sometimes I'll sing my favorite song, or I'm a big dancer in the press box. Believe it or not, I actually kind of do have a little bit of a fear of public speaking, and usually I get butterflies before I go on the air, and I just tell myself, well, Everett, you're already here, so there's nothing really you can do. You're stuck. And to loosen myself up, I kind of get loose. I'll dance a little bit and just have some fun. We were in Manchester earlier this season, and one of the arena workers at Manchester, I guess he did some research on all the visiting teams. We pulled a bus in, unload all the gear, and he says, hey, you must be Everett, the PR director. Never met this guy in my life. And he said, no, I did some research, looked up the team online, and, welcome to Manchester. Very, very happy to have you here. And it just goes to show you what a great sport and what a great world the hockey world is. And I love going to different arenas, seeing different cities, but like I said, more importantly, meeting all the different people.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week, the 2017 All-Star Classic from Glens Falls, New York. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Keep up to date on everything that's going on in the ECHL. We'll see you next time.